Good morning, Buffalo, Western New York, Southern Ontario. This is Bishop Michael A. Badger, Senior Pastor of Bethesda World Harvest International Church, and this is Wellness Saturday. It's good to be back in Buffalo. We've been gone for a little bit of time, taking some vacation, some time to refresh and get rejuvenated and get inspired. So it's always good to be back home in Buffalo, New York. Let me start by thanking our sponsors, Terry McKelvey, John Elmore, our legal eagles that meet all of your legal needs. I use them for our real estate closings, our wills, anything of that sort you want to contact Terry McKelvey. And for your slip and falls, your car accidents, all of those type of legal needs, none other than John Elmore, the $3 million man. And then for our health needs, none other than Dr. Frances Aluza, who I believe is on the line, and want to welcome her back. I don't think she's been on since she came back from Africa. Victor's there now, but Dr. Francis, are you on the line?
Yes. Good morning. Good morning, Bishop.
Good morning,
everyone.
Good morning. Good morning. So how are you this morning?
I'm doing good. Can't complain. It's God is good. God is faithful. Challenging times, but God is good.
Doc, why don't you start by giving your information before we get into the program today?
Yes, Rafa Family Medicine, 3610 Main Street. Please note that we have closed the one location, 2200 Main Street is closed now, trying to consolidate our effort in making the business run very well. So if you're looking for primary care doctor, you're looking to lose weight, you're looking to get healthy, you're looking to look good in your body, whatever it is that you're looking, we have a one-stop shopping at 3610 Main Street, Rafa Family Wellness Center. Everything is happening there. Give us a call, 716-200-4122, 716-200-4132. Give us a call. Let's see what you need. We decided to make sure that we have everything that meets the need of people, depending on where they are in their healthcare journey.
And that's 2610 Main Street. All right.
3610, yes.
Yes.
3610.
So let's talk a little bit about, you mentioned weight loss, and that seems to be a big discussion when you right now with Ozempic and Wegovy and Zepbound, and there's several other weight loss, and there, and like anything else, it has its issues and challenges. But one of the things that I saw this morning as I was looking at the Today Show is that for minorities, it's very difficult for us to get those drugs. And just kind of give us, first of all, your perspective on the safety of these drugs. What's your thoughts on those drugs? And then I want to talk a little bit about why it is that in our community, especially when it seems like this is something that can really bring down not just obesity, but high blood pressure, sugar, diabetes, all of those diseases that stem from obesity. You would think that the medical community would be, and insurance companies would be excited about the fact that they could cut some of their costs down. And we'll get into that discussion also. But first of all, give me your opinion on these weight loss drugs.
Yeah. Thank you, Bishop, and welcome back.
Thank you.
It's It's really, first of all, with or without medication, the benefit of maintaining a healthy weight is something that we all have to be aware of. Now, you don't have to go out there feeling, it's the end of the world because your weight is above where you want it to be. And also, you don't think that everything is perfect just because you have a healthy weight. It's just having a good understanding, a logical, balanced understanding of the fact that a weight that allows you, a level of weight that allows you to get up and go, helps you to get up, allows you to get up the stairs without panting for breath, a weight that helps you avoid the risk of joint, back, ankle pain, allows you to avoid the risk of multiple chronic diseases from diabetes to, to cancer. Just a healthy weight is necessary for us to live a long, healthy life. However, there's something I want to mention first. When we bring in, when you look at commercial weight loss programs, it's not what we are promoting when it comes to losing weight to benefit your health. A lot of people are going to the extreme to reduce their weight overnight, reduce their weight within a month because they want to look with so they want to look like this person on TV, this person on the movie, on the music or whatever. No, don't judge yourself based on what you see on TV and on the internet. We're talking about sitting down, having a good conversation with a healthcare provider, understanding where your needs are, what your goals are, what your health risks are. And a part of that risk can be mitigated by you losing some weight. That's where we come in. And I get this. We're living in 21st century where aesthetics and fame and beauty and outward look is driving people crazy. But please be careful. Be careful. I actually didn't want to go all in this whole weight loss medication and this, but when I started getting reports from my patients, they are coming back with some complications of going to do extreme stuff and buying things and taking for themselves. And just a crazy story that was developing from people not having the right guidance when they're trying to lose weight. I just felt like someone needs to stand in the gap. Someone needs to bring some wisdom, bring some integrity to this whole business of weight loss. They're taking advantage of people because people are desperate to lose weight. So you go there, I've seen a lady who spent thousands within few weeks with this weight loss program, got injection until she ran out of money, until she started having some complications and could not afford to go back and forth to them. She has to come to us and tell her story and have to pick it from there. And it took so much work. And my thought was, what if this person was guided right from the beginning? So we're really here, honestly, what we need to do, because we're not commercial weight loss business, it's more work. We do the real work. If you go to people who just open their shop, want to give you medication to lose weight and make money off of you, they don't counsel you. They don't guide you. They don't tell you the truth. They don't tell you what you need to know, the pros and cons. Why, at the end of the day, weight loss medication may be here, but the main root, the root cause of our weight problem is still what we eat and how much we move and other emotional and physical things that are affecting us. So I'm really here for us to have a conversation, bring some wisdom, some balance to this. Now, does weight loss medications work? Yes, they work. But remember that opioids work. Remember when they sold opioids for us? I remember being in training in the early days of opioid boom when the big farms figured out that they can produce pain pills from from the banned substances like heroin and opioids. And they decided to make it official, make it legal, and they started selling it to us. I remember those days, they would give you a chart. They would say, tell the patient, look at this chart of faces, smiling to frowning, and which one is your face? If the patient said that their face is the one that looks like it's crying or frown, we wrote medication, and we wrote enough for the patient to take until they don't feel anything. They feel happy. Well, what are they feeling? They're feeling high. So we sold this to people, we prescribed this to people, and we got the opioid crisis. Where are the big farms when our people are dying? Where are they when people are suffering the impact of kids using drugs when they are still in high school because everyone has been exposed to opioids? So be careful. Don't just lose your logic because of this. That's why practices like my practice should stand up and take courage and be involved in this so that our people are not led astray because of this boom. I haven't lived so long, but I lived through the opioid crisis, and I'm dealing with it because I do opioid dependence treatment. So I'm really seeing the impact of not doing things right. So in this case, don't worry if it's taking you time to get to the medication or whatever. Just make sure you get to someone who can educate you, guide you, counsel you, be there for you for long term, just in case something comes up. So that's really where I stand on this. I prescribe it. I know about it, but I'm still cautious. I'm still cautious because it's new. It's new. So that's why I'm telling my patient we have to work together. We have to stick together. We schedule follow-up. We monitor very closely. And I want to say, even when you are on medication, please don't put all your eggs in one basket. Make sure you're intensifying your health, like your lifestyle habits. You're changing what you're eating, you're exercising. Have the plan that in the future you get off of this medication and you've learned to live a healthy lifestyle on your own. That's where I stand.
So when we talk about the fact that you need to be guided, and as you mentioned, this is a newer drug. It's new in the sense of weight loss. It's not new drugs in the sense of being used for type 2 diabetes. But that being, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
That being said, you mentioned caution. What are some of the things that you caution it about as knowing that we're at the beginning stage of this? You said, I know you mentioned just not knowing enough about the how the lasting effects of this drug, of these drugs that are being used. The interesting thing about the opiate addiction is that there were many people that used opiates for pain and never got addicted. So is it the drug, mm-hmm, or is it the person using the drug?
Yeah, it's both. It's both. Every drug has a way that they work. We call it mechanism of action. Every drug has a mechanism of action. And that mechanism of action is a mechanism that interrupts whatever is in the body, in the natural or pathological part of the body. That mechanism of action interrupts it, and that's how you get results. So let me give you an example. If someone is having an allergy, let's say they got a poison ivy, touch their skin. They're having allergy and they're having rash, they're having itching. Well, how do we address that? We will have to find a medication like antihistamine or steroid or something that will go into the body and interrupt the mediation, that reaction of the the allergic substance and the body and stop it, cut it off. So that mechanism of action has to interfere with something. It has to stop something in the body. And all of a sudden, the itching stops, the rash goes away, and the person is good. Let's talk about diabetes. We have people who get diabetes in two different ways. That one, these people have no insulin in their body. They need insulin to make up. So when you give them a small amount of insulin, they're fine. They go their way. But we have type 2 diabetes, which is really mainly dependent on a lifestyle and what we eat. Knowingly or unknowingly, we eat a lot of processed food. And then down the road, someone overworks their pancreas. So these processed foods and high sugary food, they overwork the pancreas. It's like taking your car to the racing whatever place every day. I'm racing it. You can't do that too long. After you do it for a while, you have to either maintain that car or buy another car. So when you eat processed food, you're racing your pancreas. You're living and you're saying, give me everything you have every day, and without resting. So eventually, the pancreas backs up. It makes insulin, but insulin is not working. The body develops insulin resistance. The other part is insulin resistance because we have so much fatty tissue because of being overweight or something. So what you see is people make insulin, but insulin is not effective. They will develop what we call insulin resistance and lead them to diabetes. What do? We give them medication. We get medication, metformin, a lot of medications down the years. We give them that medication. Some of them will help them to use insulin better. Some of them will help their pancreas to make more insulin. Some of them will make their stomach to allow them not to eat too much so that they can eat less and have less sugar to fight against. So all these mechanisms are here. So when they brought the medications like semaglutide is the main substance in Wegovy, Ozempic, Zepbound, what's the other one? It's another brand. There's 4 of them out there right now. It's another brand there. But semaglutide is the Mounjaro. Mounjaro is the other one, the 4th one. So Wegovy, Ozempic, Zepbound, Mounjaro, they are all semaglutide. Semaglutide is a substance that when it gets into the body, acts like a hormone. It does something with the part that controls our eating, our zeal, our interest in food. And what it does is slows down the stomach, the way your stomach is moving the food along. Because the faster your stomach moves the food, intestine from the beginning to the end, when you put food in your mouth, it slows down the way the food runs. So the food run is a little slower. That way you feel full longer, you feel full faster, and you tend to not eat as much as you would have if you were not on the medication. And that the result is you lose weight because you are not getting in as much calorie as you would if you were not on the medication. And just understand is that you can produce this yourself. You can wake up in the morning and decide not to eat sugary stuff or drink sugary stuff and eat food that is low in glycemic index. You get the same result naturally. However, we know that so many reasons we are not able to do these things on our own. So medication is here. But just know that a medication that changes something in your body gives you good result in the beginning, which is losing weight. From what they're saying, you may need to be on this medication for months. Now, we don't know what will happen after each individual has been on this medication for 6 months, for 8 months, for 9 months, for 1 year. Some are already on it for 2 years. So this looks like a medication that unless you really do something else to control the way you're eating and exercising, you're going to need this medication to maintain. So far, every group that stopped the medication gained the weight back. So they're looking for a way to tell us, what are we going to do? Is this going to be a lifetime thing? Is this going to be 6 years and then everything is good? Or is it going to be intermittent? Maybe you do it 1 year and you skip time and then you come back when certain things happen. Maybe your weight starts going up. We don't know yet. So there's a lot of questions that needs to be answered. But what the medication does is slows down your stomach, your intestine ability to absorb food and push food down fast, and that slowness allows you not to overeat, allows you to stay full longer. And when you start losing weight, you feel excited. Maybe that will motivate you to even make your food in a healthier way, like avoid processed food, avoid high carbs like bread, donuts, muffins, all these things. Limit them, even if you don't avoid them, you limit them. Eat more vegetables, drink water. If you start doing that, it will even help you lose more weight. So they noticed that people who had the medication and also changed the way they eat and exercise, they lost a lot of weight. They felt better. Again, this is the good result, the short-term result. What I want us to be thinking about is the long-term result. I don't know. I don't have the answer. Maybe they know. Maybe they are not telling us, because I personally think that there are certain things that you see already after you studied a substance for almost 10 years. You should know something more. You should know more. But for what we know now, I don't know. I cannot tell you what it will be in 5 years, in 6 years. And every individual is different. Again, for Mrs. Jones, it might be all good, no problem. Like we say, you just mentioned, people took opioids for their pain. Stop it and move on with their life. Some people took one dose and they never dropped it. They followed it till they met their death. So it all individualized. So it is in the medication, because the medication has a mechanism of action that actually interjects into the physiology of the body and is able to produce some result. It's also the individual, because some individuals have some inclination to certain behaviors and certain outcomes. So to balance this out, you need someone to guide you. You need to be able to monitor yourself as you go along this route. And you also need to be counseled properly so that you're doing certain things in your habit, in your environment, so you don't go back to where you used to be. Just because you're taking medication, you can go and eat and do some things. No, you change your habit.
Right.
So for the answer, it's both.
Yeah. So the point of having this being directed by a physician versus just getting the medication is to help you to think how you deal with food and how you deal with exercise. One of the interesting things about this drug is that it has a psychological impact on you. You mentioned it slows down basically your intestines or your gut. The interesting thing is that most of your neurons, where we process and receive and give out information, is below our neck, and a lot of it is in our gut brain. And so the psychological part of weight is one of the things that I think has to be added to what we're talking about here. The medicine can deal with the physical, and to a certain degree, it deals psychologically with you as long as you're taking it. But as you talked about, rethinking and reformatting how you look at food, how you look at exercise, I think is is probably the holistic approach that you're talking about taking with this particular drug. Is that something that you're looking at and that you do at your practice?
Yes. That's a part we're really trying to incorporate, and we're just still looking to see how to meet that need because, like I say, I'm a primary care provider. That's my main job. But at the same time, when these patients return to me, like I just had one the other day, she came from a center that does weight loss and IV and all this, and I think something was just, she received too much of something, and she wound up in the emergency room stabilized her and sent her back to me. Well, you didn't tell me before you went there. You didn't tell me all this, and now I have to deal with this long visit figuring out what's doing, and I'm really not thankful, so it's frustrating. So I'm trying to really see to encourage people to, and it doesn't have to be me, honestly, Bishop.
Right.
I cannot start everybody. I'm just saying, just like you won't go to a mechanic when you want to file your taxes or go to your accountant when you want to repair your car. Just go to the right person to address your health need. And I think the state has allowed every prescriber can prescribe this medication. It's not just the doctors. It's not just doctors. It's not anybody that has a license to prescribe can prescribe it. I'm just saying, just like opioids, everyone had a license to prescribe opioids, and they were prescribing. But nobody was doing anything to mitigate the after effect. Even after we went into opioid crisis, a lot of providers, a lot of doctors still did not help the patients with opioid addiction. There's just very few. I don't even know if there's any other private office in this area that does opioid dependence treatment. The reason I did my practice is I cannot see my patients dying behind McDonald's and dying I can't do that. I can't. I'm just trying to do whatever I can. God's helping me to help my patients.
Yeah.
But it's because we did not tell people the truth. So everybody was prescribing. So I see it now already. Every single person, even people who do not understand anything deep about prescription and physiology of medication, they will not prescribe you antibiotic for your dental infection, but they will prescribe you medication for weight loss. Because what? There's money in it. So I just want to warn people, just be careful. I'm not here to say don't go get medication. Just check out wherever you're going. Make sure they're going to be there to answer your question. And as far as exercising and nutrition, I will not prescribe this medication without making sure that my patient is properly counseled on lifestyle modification, meaning helping them modify the way they eat. And you can go see a nutritionist if you can afford it. I can send you to one. You can see a dietitian. My job is to present you the right path, the right information. Now, how you eat, it doesn't have to be from me. We're trying to put up a little program in our office where there's really a holistic approach where when you're coming, you're properly evaluated. Make sure you don't already have depression, because if depression is not well controlled, we are seeing in my own and against our way, I'm seeing worsening depression when this is not done properly, because you're taking food away. Remember, you're reducing food. You're telling someone not to eat sugar stuff. Meanwhile, sugar is what they use to pacify themselves. All of a sudden, you're taking it away. You're also reducing their appetite. They're not feeling like they want to eat the way. So that, what will I say, the pacifying feeling of food is going away. So you want to make sure that if the person is on antidepressant, make sure that we understand how the antidepressant will change when they start taking this medication. Make sure we just understand this thing. And if you're not on any medication and all you're really struggling with is just your weight, that's fine. Just join us. We will talk about, are you hydrating yourself very well? Are you exercising? at least to the amount where you can tolerate. Are you changing what you're eating, making sure that you're not sabotaging the good information, that you're getting the maximum results? And we've seen very good results. We are seeing that people who will ordinarily lose 2-3 pounds after their fourth month, if they were exercising and eating healthier, they are losing 8 pounds. They are losing 7 pounds. We see them making more, kind of a steady progress versus when you're not incorporating lifestyle. So I believe this has to be holistic. And when I mean talking to a healthcare provider, it doesn't have to be a doctor. That was not my impression when I said see. So it can be anybody you trust that is licensed, that is in this. People know who is there for them versus who is there for the money. You have the judgment. All I'm saying is find a provider. Actually, there's more nurse practitioners than doctors who are available to even do this in the community. So a lot of the people you might encounter might be lost nurse practitioners, but they are good at what they do. They trust. They have the trust of the community, and they have a track record of being trained and able to do it. That's fine. If you find such. If you're looking for one and you cannot find it, you want us to help you, that's why we are expanding the wellness center. And when we are ready, when we have all the components in place, we're going to announce it openly to the community, staff it appropriately, and hope that people can take advantage of it to get
right.
a holistic proper care. Mm-hmm.
So, Doc, I think one of the things, and I guess because it's something that I've struggled with, but I think it's something especially that Americans struggle with, and I think we have to look at this from a macro and not just a micro level of just the individual not having the discipline, but there are other things that add to this, the type of food that is being eaten. And what's being put in it to cause addiction, to cause, these trans, what they call trans fats. That, yeah, and and the whole issue of the psychological part of this that is learned many times from childhood of emotional eating. There is a lot to this. It's not just okay. You need to discipline yourself. There's more. There's a lot more to this than just that. There's the poverty issue for a lot of people. There's the food desert for a lot of people. And so, the one thing that I think that is important is that health providers look more holistically like you're looking at this because of the fact that, most people don't choose to be unhealthy and eat unhealthy just because, they want to. There are many factors involved in that. And so, that being said, especially in the population of African Americans where, we don't have many times access to food. And, while there are ways, and you've had some excellent classes about how you can just with the limited amount of options you have, how you can eat healthier. I think as we keep educating, that helps, and it is this ship is going to turn slowly because it didn't get here overnight. That being said, you mentioned the money factor. My question is, why is it at this point so difficult for minorities to get this type of help, you know, at least according to what we're finding out right now, uh, we seem to always be last, and no matter what it is. But even with those that have insurance, it seems that it's very challenging to get these drugs.
Yeah. Well, the thing about it is that most practitioners in this population, with the so-called minority, sometimes we say low income, sometimes we say we label it with all kinds of stuff. But I must tell you, having practiced in this location for 16 years, I tell you, it's difficult. It's difficult because it's not because of people who they are, they did choose to be in this position, but just because of where they now found themselves. So I this as an example. I see, let's say a typical, person struggling with weight comes in with their insurance into my practice. But I really want to just make sure that I do this job as a business. I have about 15, 20 minutes to spend with this person. The rest of the time I spend it, I don't get paid for it. I don't get anything for it. So it's up to me to say, well, if you keep spending this time, you got to counsel this patient for this medication, to write this medication. You have to do prior authorization. That's another hour. You have to then see them and follow up, discuss side effects with them. That's 2-3 hours of uncompensated time.
Yes.
I really want to do this. And how many people can I do this for? Yeah, you do it, and you wind up not being able to pay your bills.
Yeah.
So that's really the point. I know people always pick in and say, oh, racism. Listen, I'm telling you, this medication, if things are really good, this medication can be received from the same way where you get your blood pressure medication, the same place where you get your diabetes medication, the same place where you will get your medication for depression and anxiety. It shouldn't really be like a, but how are these facilities structured? Are they structured just to write prescriptions, or are they structured to provide holistic health care?
Right.
Unfortunately, our system is structured to deal with sick care. A sick care system cannot provide for people. And if people just walk in and out of sympathy, you say, well, even though I don't have time to meet with you or talk with you or encourage you, I just give you prescription. Yeah, they will take the prescription, but it will not produce the same result.
Yes.
They will not succeed. And when they don't succeed, what do you say? You say, well, it didn't really work for you, therefore, this is not you. You're not a good candidate. And then so there's so many factors: providers factor, environmental factor, management factors. My practice was able to quickly switch because it's a small practice. I don't need to go to so many levels to make a decision. So I'm training my staff, which is why we are taking a little longer time. I'm training my staff to understand. I'm training my clinicians to nurse practitioners for us to know that, there's approach to this. You also have to be sensitive. You have to know how to communicate with people. You know how to respectfully discuss. So this is not something you just open your door and start doing, unless all you want is just pay me money, I give you prescription.
Yeah,
That's easy. Anybody can do that. And
So-
it's already happening.
So
I think
go ahead.
we just have to wait and see.
And I think your point is well taken, Doc, that there is no easy solutions to this complex problem. It is something that needs to be managed, and it needs to be managed with information from your physician. And like you said, I mean, and I know the time that you spend with your patients because I was just with you yesterday. For a visit, and I know a little bit about healthcare, and I know that it's very difficult for primaries, a single practice, to really stay afloat financially. And I one of the reasons why I love having you on the air is because I think you're a real gift to this community because you're one of the few that are still doing it, that haven't joined a large medical group because you're more concerned about outcomes than income. And that's why I love having you on the air and sharing this information with the community that so many times lacks this type of information. So I just want to personally thank you for your commitment because I know, yes, it is. Yes, it is. But the sacrifice that you're making on your end, I think sometimes as patients, we don't really get it. And that can become very frustrating and disheartening. But I just want you to know that speaking for many of your patients, we really appreciate, your passion and compassion for your patients. I want to open up the phone lines. We have about 15 minutes. 837-1112, 837-1112. If you would like to chime in the conversation, Dr. Francis is here. She's taking house calls. As you can see, my particular voice right now, with the change of season, my sinuses are going through a little change itself. I'm hoping in the next couple of days that I break through this. But yes, 837-1112, 837-1112. Doc, to navigate the waters of being a single practice primary physician has got to be very challenging.
Yeah. It is. It's really, it is. Right now, what I can tell you, if I was to give you an honest assessment, it's impossible to be an independent practice. It's very impossible. However, you cannot do it. What I tell people, you cannot do it without God. It's got to be something. And I'm telling you, for this 6 years, before I usually will say, I need this, but just this 16 years has taught me so much that you are trying to wonder if God is with you. You're trying to wonder if God is there to provide, to strengthen, to look back at this 16 years. And when I do, Bishop, everything I do, I have so much to be grateful for. I have so much to be thankful for. So it's just I don't know if I'm being really motivated just by what God has allowed me to accomplish, what God has accomplished through me in this small community. I remember when I started doing opioid, how did I even decide to do opioid dependence treatment? I opened a new practice and people were coming. People would come in and be asking for opioids, and I made up my mind. I don't feed you with opioids, but the people will say, but I'm your patient, and I'm having withdrawal. What do you want me to do? So I will call all the people that say that they will help people with addiction, that they will help them with withdrawal. Their schedule will be 3 months. Some of them just send them to the ER, and I will send them to ECNC. They will see them. They will come out, and I was like, wow. I decided I went to the training. I came out, and I talked to my colleagues. They said, well, you're going to be doing this for free. There's no reimbursement. I said, well, won't their healthcare insurance pay? They said, no, they don't care. So I started doing this stuff, and I was spending an hour and a half to get this person on buprenorphine treatment to detox them today. And I would do all this, call them at home. Eventually, this person would be doing well. Very, very rewarding. The patient is happy, family is happy, I'm out. But there was nothing to show for it. And I started learning how to build insurance about it. And I built a few insurance, and then they paid. And then one day they came back and they said, well, we made a mistake. We shouldn't have paid you for this. We need all this payment back. They took all the payment back. And I was like, wow. I talked to one of my colleagues. She said, didn't I tell you Just do your business, come wherever. But I continued. I'm telling you, I continued. I continue to do it, even though it's not being paid. When I see people, they come into my office and they show me their certificate. They show me their wedding pictures. They show me the picture of the new house they just bought. Listen, I didn't get paid for it, but I thank God every day for it. And I think that's my reward right there. And I may be foolish, but it is what it is. It's just, you can't just live this life without a mission. My practice is a calling. It's a mission for me. It's not now. And I know that one day you'll be proven. Right now it's kind of in the making, but the manifestation is coming. That's how I see it. That's how I see it.
I think you're exactly right, Doc, and I agree with you. And I think when we do it God's way, even though it doesn't make sense to the natural, in the end, it's proven that when we love God, that He works it out for our good. When we've been called according to His purpose, even though all of the systems and all of the thought process might be against the way we're doing it, because we're doing it, God has a way of working that out for our good. And I think your story is a tremendous testimony. A lot of times we don't see that part of the struggle, and struggling not because you have to, struggling because you chose to do things the right way, because you took that Hippocratic oath and you're trying to fulfill that by being patient centric and not financial centric. And truly, I hopefully our listeners that are listening today really understand, the gift that you are to this community, because there's not many of you left that are practicing, in a single practice. You might find this type of compassion within a medical practice, but here again, that person is under pressure and time restraints that says you got 10 to 15 minutes and that's it, because that's all we're getting paid for. And so you cannot go according to, excuse me, your passion. You have to go according to what the time clock is saying. And, so I once again commend you for doing it. And I think one of the things that this shows, Doc, is that our healthcare system is not about healthcare. And I think we really got to begin to understand that. This healthcare system is not about you being healthy. It's about you being a dollar sign and how much we can extract from you in your lifetime, before you leave here.
Yeah. True. Yeah, it's a very weird system. With all the resources we have, we just haven't figured out to serve the people,
Well,
serve the people, and not just serve corporations.
Sure.
We get a balanced system. We haven't figured it.
Yeah, I think what we're seeing in healthcare is one of the drawbacks of a capitalistic society. I think capitalism in its purest form probably is the best economical system. But when you take capitalism and greed becomes the driving engine for it, it creates every type of evil. Here is something that is supposed to be for the health and welfare of people. And because it's being driven by greed, you're looked at as a dollar sign. And how much money can we get from you in your lifetime before, the next person comes along? And so it's so important that we begin to understand that within this health system, it's not about us being healthy. It's about maintaining you in your sickness.
Yeah, and the thing is that it's gone so far. It's so bad, right? That nobody wants to say anything about what is going wrong. It's almost like you know your ship is going in the wrong direction, but you just imagine what it will take to turn the ship around, and you're like, oh, well, let me just keep going. Even if I go off the cliff, it's fine, but I just can't afford to start trying to turn this around.
Well, there's too much.
At that point, why not?
There's too much money being made, and I think the affordable health care, which many people call Obamacare, is a perfect example. When President Obama was in office, and his original intent was to try to correct this system. And what happened? Money got involved, and people voted and fought against their own self-interest because of propaganda. The fact of the matter is that, it was at the heart of the affordable health care was to make the health providers accountable. And they turned it politically into this thing of where people, voted against their own interests by saying, well, I'm healthy and I don't want to pay into this system. Why should I be forced? That's that's socialism. You're paying into a broke system anyway. And when you get sick or you have an accident, even though you're 20, you are going to make demands on the healthcare system.
Absolutely.
It was amazing to see how we allow it to be politicized. And at the heart of it, it really was all about money. And, race definitely played a part in that because of Obama's skin color, and it was easy to try to paint him like he was a socialist. Had nothing to do with socialism. Had everything to do with holding health providers accountable and saying that you're going to be reimbursed according to the quality of care that you give. Yeah, and really, seeing it from that, 10,000-foot level, it was really interesting as, being on the board of directors for ECMC during that time and seeing how, healthcare was grappling with how to finesse this. But if it had been implemented the way that it was originally purposed, I think we would have probably had the best healthcare system in the world.
Yeah, I agree. And as it is now you really think the whitewash, the messed up version that was implemented actually appears to be making things worse because prices are rocketing. I don't know if anyone pays a premium for health insurance. I don't see how premium will go up to 10%, 17% each year. And how is that even possible? And they base it on the fact that they are paying for more stuff. They are insuring more people. We are paying for your preventive care. So therefore, premium goes up. So when you go in there, they say preventive care is free. It's not free. You guys are jacking up the premium. So it's really interesting. But, that's why individual responsibility becomes much more important now.
Yes,
Your own personal responsibility.
Yes.
What is going to get you through this?
I agree, Doc. There's no question about it. At the end of the day, we have to take personal responsibility. And, one of the challenges, I think, for a community that is poor is that so much of the time is spent just in survival mode that you don't have the luxury of thinking about thriving because you're just surviving. And that's the power of the gospel. Jesus said, "I came to preach good news to the poor." You need something that is greater than you to help pull you out of that proverbial ditch, emotional ditch that you're in. And know that it's not hopeless because there's a power that's greater than you that can help you, that will sustain you. And that, Doc, that for me, at this point in my life is what the message that I want to get to our community. This is who our Father really is. The church has been demonized, but I got to tell you, when you look at the purity of what the gospel is, it is the answer for man's ills, and especially, in this temporary life that we live in for the poor. Rich people will have options to a certain degree to sustain their temporary life and to give you a certain, maybe, quality of life. But for the poor person, what's going to help me, especially when, the very system is built on a certain amount of poverty. That's why Jesus said, "The poor you have with you always."
Yeah.
Right? So there is this need to have poor people, but I believe the gospel says I don't have to be one of them. With that being said, Doc, we're out of time, but not out of conversation. I want to invite people to come out tomorrow. I'll be speaking, and we'll be talking about moving out of the 6th day, getting out of 6th-day living. And I think it will be inspirational. It will be powerful, and I believe it will help you in your journey in life. Dr. Francis, thank you so much for all that you do. Your address again as we close?
3610 Main Street.
All right.
3610 Main Street by Main and Belia from UB.
Phone number?
716-200-4122.
This is Bishop Michael A. Badger, Senior Pastor, Bethesda World Harvest International Church. Beside me is
Dr. Loza.
And we say peace. God bless.
Serving in the spirit of excellence by doing the little good things consistently.